Let's just double check. Yes, that is recording. Okay, nice. Right, let's come down to a lying position then. And we'll start on our backs today. Maybe knees are bent, maybe legs are out straight. So find a shape that feels comfortable for you. And we'll just land into the mat. Rest down. And just giving ourselves some time to relax into our class today. And just as we lie here, just take some time to think about how your body is feeling today. And any aches or pains or niggles, just make sure, as always, that you move gently through the class, being mindful of those areas and keeping yourself safe. Today, our theme is going to be to twist and detox the body. So we're going to have a detoxification session today. So lots of lovely twists and stretches. So let's take our mind and our focus to the breath. Just gently breathing in and out through the nose. You might want to bring your hands onto your tummy, or they can stay by your sides. And on your next inhale, just feel the tummy rise for the count of 4. So we're going to inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, hold at the top, and then we exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold at the bottom. So inhaling as deep as you can into the belly. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, and then keep the equal breathing going. So breathing in for a count of 4, and then breathing out for a count of 4. I'm just going to continue with your own count for the next few moments. And then your next inhale and exhale will be your last round. And then taking your breath back to a normal breathing pattern. And you're welcome to keep your eyes closed as you bend your knees and bring the soles of your feet into the mat, feet about hip width apart. And then bring your arms out to shoulder height, just landing your arms along the floor. And just taking a moment here to feel the weight of the upper body in the mat. And just keeping that breath nice and gentle in and out through the nose. And then on the next inhale, just allow both knees to fall down to the right. And as you exhale, bring them back up to center. Inhaling, knees down to the left. Exhaling back up to the center. And inhaling back down to the right. Exhaling up. Inhaling down to the left. Exhaling up. And this time you inhale down to the right. And your knees are going to stay in that direction. You may want to bring your right foot up and hook that foot over the left knee. And maybe take your gaze down towards the left hand, just to encourage a bit more of a twist. I'll spend one more moment here. And then if that foot is hooked, unhook, come back up to center. And then let's go to the other side. So both knees come down to the left, maybe gaze goes along to the right hand. And you can lift that left foot up and hook over the right knee. if that feels good. And let's just stay in this twist for another moment. And then if that foot is hooked, let's unhook and bring both knees up to center. And then bringing your knees in towards your chest and just taking a gentle rock from side to side. Lovely. And then let's take one hand on each knee and just make some big circles with those knees, just going in any direction. So we're going to do a few circles in one direction, bringing some movement into those hips, and then reverse the circles and go in the other direction. And knees back into the chest, and this time stick knees, ankles and feet together and allow both knees to fall over to the right hand side, landing on the floor. And maybe put your right hand on top of that left knee and left arm out to shoulder height. Maybe taking that gaze down towards the left hand, if that feels okay in the neck. Just gently breathing in and out through the nose. And then maybe using your right hand just to encourage both knees back up. We're going to come back in towards the chest. And then knees, ankles and feet together. We're going to come down to the left side. So landing both legs down towards the left. Maybe left hand goes on top of the right knee. Right arm can come out at shoulder height, gaze down the right towards the right hand if that feels okay in the neck. If not, gaze up towards the ceiling. All of these twists are, give our internal organs a really good massage. And so that just encourages, fresh blood to come in and nutrients to be released, and encourages that detoxification, which is what we're aiming for this evening. Let's bring both of those knees back up and hug into the chest. My idea was spring has sprung. Let's have a spring clean, but it feels like the depths of winter outside, actually. Let's come round to one side and bring ourselves up to a seated position, and coming into a seated position that feels comfy to you. So maybe legs across, legs can be out in front if that feels better. Let's sweep both hands up and out to the side as we breathe in. And then let's allow the right hand to drop down to the mat and come over towards the right hand side into a lovely side bend, just creating space between those left fingers and left hip. Shoulders come away from ears. Make sure 2 sit bones are on the floor so you're not lifting up one of your hips. Maybe take the gaze underneath the arm. As we inhale, let's bring the left arm and hand up. Hand lands behind your bottom. Right hand on left knee, and then just come into another lovely twist. Take the gaze over the left shoulder. And just continue that gentle breathing. Back hand is lifting you up straight. Front hand is encouraging the twist. And let's unravel and unwind. And inhale, bringing both arms back up towards the ceiling. Landing the left hand into the mat and coming into a lovely side stretch towards the left, opening up that space in the right hand side of the body. And again, 2 sit bones on the floor, shoulders away from ears. Maybe gaze comes underneath the right arm. And just making sure that breath is still gently flowing. And then on the next inhale, let's float back up. Land the right hand behind. Left hand comes onto opposite knee. And let's come into another twist. So the back hand, the right hand is pushing you up nice and straight. And the left hand is encouraging that twist. Gaze comes over the right shoulder. Take one more moment here. And let's unravel and unwind. And we're going to bring our legs round into our tabletop position. So just checking in that your knees are underneath your hips and your hands are underneath your shoulders. Hands are like starfish. And then on the inhale, lift tailbone and gaze upwards. And on the exhale, let's round and dome that spine. So inhaling and extending. And exhaling and pushing that mid back up towards the ceiling. Let's do one more like this. So inhaling and extending. And exhaling, rounding and doming. Let's come back to a neutral position so our spine is nice and straight. And then you're going to bring you can try to make a banana shape with your spine. We've done this on the floor lying down before. So you're going to try to sort of close the gap between ribs and hips on one side and take your gaze maybe sort of down towards that foot. You might be able to see it, maybe not. I can't see mine. And then we're going to swing the other way. So it's a little bit like, I guess, a dog wagging its tail maybe, or creating that banana shape with your spine going one way and then the other. Just bringing a different type of movement into that back. I'm going to go a couple more in each direction. Try to end on the side we didn't start with. I can't actually remember which one that was for me, but I feel like I'm done. So I'm coming back to neutral, and then let's just take the body in some nice big circles. So bringing right hip to right heel, left hip to left heel, and then just keep the circles moving round. And we'll do one more here, and then let's reverse the direction. So taking the circles in the opposite direction. Marvelous. Right, let's bring, we're going to come into a low lunge. So we're going to bring the right foot forwards, give it a little bit of a helping hand if needed, and it's going to land between your two hands. And finding yourself in a comfortable position, and you can keep those hands on the floor as always, or you can bring the upper body up. Maybe hands stay on your front thigh. You can sweep your arms up above your head if that feels okay, in shoulders. And just double check that you can still see those toes over that front knee, just to protect that knee. You don't want your foot too far back. So foot forwards is best. And then our front foot is forwards. So we're going to sweep our arms down to shoulder height, and then we're going to twist towards that front leg. So we're twisting with the left hand in front. So we're kind of twisting into that front leg. So we're going to come into a twist here. And then we're going to land the left hand down on the mat. And our right hand is going to come up towards the ceiling. So we're in a kind of low lunge twist. If you're feeling energetic and you want to tuck your back toes under and lift your back knee off the floor to make it a bit more intense, then you're very welcome to. Or you can stay with your back knee on the floor. Let's release that left hand, get your balance. See if we can come back into that low lunge twist. And then let's sweep our hands back down, maybe land them in front or inside of the right foot, so you can more easily sweep that right leg back to meet the left. And let's put big toes together and knees the width of the mat and come into child's pose. So bottom towards heels, forehead towards the mat, and arms stretch out in front. And while we're here, let's bring the left hand over to the left side of the mat. the right hand meets the left hand's forehead back on the floor if that feels comfortable. And just feel that lovely opening in the right side body. And then let's switch. So the right hand comes to the right side of the mat. The left hand joins, forehead back on the mat. I'm feeling that opening through the left side of the body now. And coming back to center, let's come back up into that tabletop position. And we're going to step the left foot in between those hands now. So coming into our low with the left foot in front. So catch your balance. Hands can stay down if that feels more comfortable, or bring the upper body up. And again, you can keep your hands on that front thigh, or you might want to sweep arms up above your head. Double check that you can still see those toes over that front knee. And we're going to spend one moment here. And then this time we've got our left foot in front. So our right hand come in front as we twist and we look sort of over to the left side. And then we're going to land the right hand down next to the left foot. Left arm comes up. And if you're feeling energetic, you can tuck that back toe and lift your back knee up. Or you're welcome to keep that back knee on the floor, whichever feels okay. Let's take one more moment here. Catch your balance. Release the right hand from the mat. Come back up into that twist. And then let's land both hands back on the mat inside of the left foot so that you can bring your left foot back to meet your right. And then let's put big toes together, knees apart, head towards the mat. And we'll come back into our child's pose. Lovely. Right, from child's pose, we're going to leave our hands. We aim to leave our hands where they are. And we're going to just sweep our body forwards. So we land on our tummy on the mat. And let's bring elbows underneath shoulders. This is our Sphinx pose. And you're welcome to stay here. We're going to do a twist on our tummy now. So we're going to, in fact, let's stay here for the first bit and then we can make it a bit more challenging if we need. So we'll stay here. You're just simply going to bring your gaze down towards your right foot over your right shoulder and then come back to center and then take your gaze down towards your left foot over your left shoulder and come back to center. So you can do this again, taking gaze down to right foot and taking gaze down to left foot, moving slowly and mindfully. Make sure you don't twang your back. If you want a bit more, then you can come up into more of maybe a seal pose, maybe. So you lift your elbows up off the floor. It's a bit more intense in your arms, but the movement is exactly the same. So taking your gaze over the right shoulder towards the right foot, and then the left shoulder towards the left foot. So elbows can be up or down. Let's just do one more on each side, wherever we are with this. Maybe your elbows have landed back down and that's okay. We are all going to land our elbows back down just now. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders and you're going to just press yourself back. You're going to land in child's pose just to stretch that spine in the opposite way for a moment. Knees can be together or apart. It's up to you, whichever feels most comfortable. I'm going to take one moment here. And then bring hands underneath shoulders. You're going to tuck your toes, bring your bottom up, and come into a forward fold. Feet can be together or apart, whichever is most comfortable. The closer they are together, the harder the balance is. And we're just going to pause here for a moment. So hands can be on the floor. If you have got, and I feel like, has June just joined? Somebody else has just joined, and I know that June has got blocks there. So I'm just going to grab those, because if you want to have your hands on blocks, it just lifts the floor up a little bit. So you're welcome to have your hands on blocks if you've got them. Maybe you're just holding on to the opposite elbow with your hands. Maybe you're swaying from side to side. So wherever you are, we're now going to land both hands on the mat. You might need to bring a bend into the knees, and that's okay. And we're going to ground the left hand on the mat. We're going to bring the right hand up towards the ceiling. So as we bring the right arm up, we aim to stretch the right leg. The left leg will stay bent. So the same leg as hand that is on the floor will be bent. And the leg of the hand that's up towards the ceiling will be nice and straight. Let's switch to the other side. So land the right hand on the mat, right leg is nice and bent. Aim to stretch the left leg, bring the left arm up towards the ceiling. So one more moment in this twist. And then land the left hand back down. And we are going to take a nice deep bend into the knees. Maybe hands go on the thighs, just to support you in rolling up to our mountain pose. So we're in a nice standing straight position on the mat. And we're going to come into our revolved triangle, which I feel we haven't done before. So let's take a step forwards with, well, I'm taking a step forward with the right foot. So it depends where your mat is orientated. So I'll just stick with what I'm saying, I think, because I don't know where you are. So I'm going to step forward with my right foot, and I'm going to just double check all 10 toes should be facing forwards here. You might want to turn your back foot out slightly. It might be more comfortable in your calf. So if you need to turn your back foot out slightly, then do so, but try to aim that your 5 front toes are facing forwards. Hands on hips, nice straight back. And we are going to bend ourselves forwards. And we're going to take the opposite hand onto the front leg. So my right leg is forward, so I'm going to bring my left hand onto that opposite leg. And this is where you need to catch your balance a bit. You can keep your hand on your hip, or we aim to put our arm up. And then maybe you can bring that left hand down a bit further. Maybe it can reach the mat. And we come into a twist. This feels really intense, so we can feel it through our legs, our arms. In fact, I feel like every muscle is working in this one. Let's spend one more moment here. Let's aim to come out gracefully. We might want to bend that front knee just to protect the back. And we could even come out in a bit of a twist, holding our balance and twisting towards the right with our right leg in front. And then let's come back and take a big step back. And we land back in our mountain pose. And maybe let's do a couple of shoulder rolls here, because that felt super duper intense. And then we're going to go on to the other side. So taking the left foot forwards, 5 toes definitely facing forwards in the left leg. Right leg, maybe toes are pointing out slightly, aim to have them forwards. Nice straight spine. Let's start with hands on the hips. And we're going to fold forwards first. Opposite hand to front leg comes onto the front leg. We turn towards the front leg. Hand can stay on hip. We can bring this left arm up. Maybe we can bring the right hand down. Maybe the right hand can reach the mat. Maybe you can look up towards the left hand. Spend one more moment. This feels super duper intense. Make sure you're still breathing. Let's bring a bend to the front knee. Release the right hand from the mat. Maybe coming up in a twist and then facing forwards. And let's take a big step back and come back into our mountain pose. Let's do a couple of shoulder rolls. Do whatever you need to do to loosen up a little bit. That felt super duper intense, that one. Let's come into a wide-legged stance. So we aim again for all 10 toes to be pointing forwards. That's our aim. It might not happen, but that is our aim. And let's stand up nice and tall. And we're going to maybe take a bend to the knees actually as you come down, just to protect your back as you land into a wide-legged forward fold here. And again, if blocks under hands make things a bit easier, you can always use those blocks under your hands just to raise that floor level a little bit. Or maybe hands reach the mat. Maybe you're holding on to opposite elbows. Maybe you can relax right down. Feels really intense in the legs. Let's come up slightly and bring the right hand underneath the face. And then we're going to sweep the left hand up towards the ceiling. Remember that block can be underneath that right hand if you need. And let's come back down. Land the left hand under the face and sweep the right hand up towards the ceiling. Taking that gaze with the right hand, if that feels comfortable in the neck. And let's land both hands back down. We're going to spend one more moment in this wide-legged forward fold. Just tipping the digestive system upside down is really good for detoxification. So we'll spend one more moment here. And then we are going to come down to seated. So if you want to join me by bringing feet just wider than hip width and pointing out, toes pointing out about 45 degrees. If you want to come into your yogic squat before you come down to seated, then you're very welcome to. So maybe elbows come on the inside of the knees and you're using the strength in the arms just to encourage that opening in the hips. We aim for feet to be flat on the floor. It takes practice. Some people are really flexible. You might have landed your heels into the floor. It's taken me quite a few years to be able to do this one. And when you feel that you're ready, you're welcome to stay here. Maybe bring your hands forwards and just gently bring the body weight forwards and safely land yourselves into the mat. And we're back, sitting down. That always feels so good, I think. Let's bring the left leg out wide and we're going to tuck the right leg. We're going to keep the right leg in. So we're in a half dragonfly, or we called it a pancake the other week, but a half dragonfly pose. And let's sweep arms up and out. And we're going to bring the left hand to the right knee and we're going to come into a twist. So we're pointing, or we're looking over the bent leg. Marvelous. Let's untwist and unwind And let's bring that left hand towards that left foot and sweep the right arm up and over. Try to keep nice and open. So bring in that right shoulder up towards the ceiling. So it's more of a side bend than a fold over. So if you can take your gaze underneath the right arm, if that feels too uncomfortable in the neck, you don't need to. And then let's sweep the right hand up. And we're going to come onto the other side. So let's switch the position in the legs. So right leg is out straight. Left leg is bent in. Remember, you can put something underneath that knee if your hips feel particularly tight. Let's sweep arms up, out the side, above our heads. And as we exhale, let's drop the right hand towards the left knee and take ourselves into a twist. So the hand behind you, your left hand behind, is pushing into the mat, encouraging your spine to be nice and straight. And the right hand is encouraging that twist in the spine. Gaze over the left shoulder. And let's unwind. And let's bring the right hand towards the right foot. Maybe it reaches the foot, maybe it's on the the shin or the ankle. And we're going to sweep the left arm up and come into a side bend here. So encouraging that top shoulder backwards and just feel an opening through the side body as we come into this lovely side stretch. Perfect. Let's float ourselves back up and land that hand. Use your hands to bring your legs back in, and we're going to squiggle ourselves round so that we are in a seated position with our legs out straight. Bring your feet about the width of the mat. I'm going to sit up nice and straight. And remember, we aim not to hunch into our forward fold, but to lean into our forward fold. So your aim is to try to keep your spine as straight as possible and tilt your hips forwards as you come into your forward fold. So I didn't do a reminder about straps today because I didn't really consider it. But if you've got your strap and you want to put a strap around your legs, you can do. Or actually just hands on calves, shins, ankles. Maybe you can use your first two fingers to hook round that big toe. And just encouraging a length through the spine. So try not to hunch yourself forwards, aiming for the crown of your head to go towards your feet as we forward fold down. I'll spend a few moments in this fold. It's a really nice, calming, resting position. Just take some time to double check that your knees aren't locked out, that there's just a softness to the knees. Shoulders are relaxed. And just gently breathing in and out through the nose. And maybe on every out breath, you can just go another, even if it's 1/10 of a millimeter, because all of these moves are just the slightest fraction. Slightly deeper stretch. Let's begin to roll ourselves back up. We're going to release the hands and bring your right hand towards your left shin or outside of your lower leg. And we're going to sweep the, what did I say? I said right hand. So we're sweeping the left hand up. And so we're kind of partly folding forwards and partly twisting round. One more moment. And then let's switch to the other side. So left hand on the right shin, and then we're coming forwards a touch. Try to keep your spine straight. If you're super duper hunched, like come back a little bit so your spine is a bit more straight before you sweep your right arm upwards and just coming into that forward folded twist. One more moment. And then let's unwind. And then feet together, maybe bring in a bend to the knees, shuffle your bottom forwards a bit, and we're going to come safely down to a rested position, knees into chest, taking a gentle rock from side to side here. Lovely. And then let's land the left foot back down on the mat, and your left leg can stay. In fact, let's keep our left leg bent. Actually, I was going to do something else. So we're going to keep our left leg bent. You're going to put your right foot on top of your left sort of thigh muscle, but up, towards the knee. And then you're going to allow both knees to fall down towards the left side. So your right leg is coming over the top. And we're going to come into a twist with our legs kind of staggered, if that makes sense. So our left leg is further down, our right leg is closer to the body. And maybe right arm comes out to shoulder height, maybe left hand goes onto right knee. And you're encouraging the right shoulder to stay on the floor while you're encouraging the left knee down towards the floor. You may be able to get both on the floor at the same time. I've got quite a big gap there today. I'll spend a few moments just relaxing into this twist. I think this is our last twist. And however is comfortable, let's unravel and unwind. And then we're going to switch to the other side. So land the right foot back into the mat, lifting the left knee up. Maybe the left knee comes towards the chest first, and then the left foot is going to land on top of the right thigh up towards your knee. Come out of the way of my fireplace. And then arms out to shoulder height, and then allowing both legs to fall down to the right hand side. Right hand goes on top of left knee. And you're encouraging the left shoulder to stay on the floor as you're encouraging the left knee down towards the floor. And this is a really deep twist. I feel like our internal organs are going to be very happy after today's yoga session. They've been wrung out, detoxified. Let's take one more moment here. And then slowly and safely, let's unravel, unwind, untwist. Bring the knees back into the chest one last time. You can stay here and gently rock, or maybe you want to come up into happy baby pose. So if you want happy baby, take the grip behind the knees, knees out towards armpits, feet up towards the ceiling, and then maybe change your grip, but just make sure that you've still got that length through the back of the neck. So gaze should be up towards the ceiling. Maybe you can hold on to big toes or the outside of the feet. If your neck starts to crumple at the back, take your grip a little bit further towards your knees on your legs. And maybe you're rocking from side to side. Maybe you're staying still. Completely up to you what you want to do. If you're in happy baby, and then wherever you are, let's release those legs and land your feet back on the mat. And then maybe bringing a stretch to the legs and then laying ourselves back down. And if you're comfortable to bring a close to the eyes, now is a good time. And we're just going to land the body back into the mat, knowing that all that hard work is done. There's some lovely twists, some lovely stretches. And now is the time to give ourselves permission for the next few minutes just to completely relax the body back down into the mat. Taking that focus back to the breath, breathing in gently through the nose and breathing out gently through the nose. And taking your focus to your feet, releasing any tension on the next exhale. And then just feeling that sense of relaxation travel from the feet, through the ankles, up through the legs. The knees are soft. Thighs feel loose. Hips are relaxed. Tummy is gently rising and falling with the breath. And just feel the chest soften. Become aware of the weight of the shoulders in the mat. The arms feel heavy. Notice the length through the back of the neck. And soften the features of the face. Forehead is smooth. Maybe wriggle the jaw from side to side, and on the next inhale, just release all the features and soften all the features of the face. And then mind back to the breath. And just gently noticing how the belly rises with each inhale and then softens with each exhale. And through the next few moments, as the body deepens into the mat, just being aware of the belly gently rising and falling with each breath. And on your next inhale, breathe in a bit deeper. So breathing in, filling up the belly, filling up the ribs, all the way to the top of the chest. Keep breathing in until you're full with air. Hold at the top. And then maybe releasing through the mouth. And on the next inhale, bring your arms up and over the back towards the back of your mat, stretching through the toes, stretching through the arms, stretching through the fingers, and a lovely full body stretch. And then bringing a bend to the knees and bringing the knees into the chest. And let's do one last little rock from side to side. And then maybe rolling onto one side gently. And you're welcome to spend a few more moments here before you come up to a seated position. And let's maybe keep the eyes closed for another moment. Enjoy this sense of calm before we continue our evening. On the next inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, up above your head, palms meet. Bring them down to heart center. Namaste. Thanks so much, everybody, for coming.